In the last video I talked about shaping a cylinder with both hands in a pulling motion. I feel like this is a superior way to shape. You're going to lose less height and you're able to stretch the material very well. In this case I'm going to go ahead and score the outside of the material with a serrated rib to demonstrate how to shape from the inside out only. So you can see I've scored the outside with some lines. I'm going to go ahead and erase the top marks just a little ways down, about an inch or so. And now I'm going to take a rib on the inside and push out. Some people don't feel safe using a flexible metal rib even though it has the least amount of resistance. Some people feel very comfortable with a wooden spoon on the inside. Or even a rubber rib, your hands, wooden rib, anything's going to work as long as you can stretch the material out. I actually prefer using the flexible metal rib. This area right here, just a little rounded edge. I'm right-handed, so I like to do this over at 9 o'clock. I like the wheel to go medium speed. I want to make sure that this is somewhat at a 45-degree angle on the inside. And just to give my hands some room to work with, I'm going to go ahead and start on the top and push out on one spot. You can see that the material is pushing out and stretching. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and just apply even pressure all the way down. And then I'm just going to reverse. You can see I'm leaving the top of the cylinder narrow because I'm going to want to collar that in. To really get the clay to stretch further than you're comfortable with, you can use a heat gun or a torch, or let the pot sit and spin for several minutes. Let's have a look. You can see the once vertical line score marks have now started to twist. This sort of demonstrates the flexibility of the material and how it starts twisting in a very orderly fashion. It can be quite beautiful. And a tall cylinder, it actually can turn all the way around sometimes. Make sure your form is done. Sometimes I'll reach in with a spoon just to detail some certain areas out. And that little bit of bare clay on the top is what I can use, where I can use both hands. Just using some localized water where I need some lubrication. And just do a little fingertip pull. Now I want to collar this in. I'm being careful not to touch the outside of the pot at this point. Any slight touch and it will mar the marks. Remember, when I'm collaring in, I want to use 6 points of pressure, my 2 thumbs, middle fingers, and the back end of my ring fingers. I want to keep the top as round as possible. the form looks pretty good. There's a little bit of a bump right here. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the bottom a little bit. At this point, I feel like the pot is really done. This is when you need to be critical about the form and the pot itself. If you're not totally sure and in love that this pot is wonderful, it's time to do this. Now I can re-wedge that pot and start over.